Hello everyone, and I welcome you to this all new brand new episode of Traders Classroom of 7th March. Now, today we are going to look at a very important feature on the RSI, that is moving averages. Moving averages act as a support on the RSI, act as a resistance on the RSI, and when we see certain setups on the moving averages, we can use it as a good momentum trade which gives you 5 to 7% returns instantly. So when you are using it with the options, it is a very good thing to trade. Let us look at it and see how it will behave in the markets, upcoming markets, and how you can recognize those patterns. So first, a small disclaimer, just go through it and then we start our session. So RSI moving average. The biggest problem with this is that moving averages are often ignored. You will hear many people telling you that not to apply moving averages on the RSI, but this is just ignorance and nothing else. We cannot ignore moving averages. Moving averages are integral part of the RSI trading system, so it has to be there. Andrew Cardwell was the one who has put more emphasis on the moving averages on the RSI, but again, a deep insight on the moving averages was missing from his work. He didn't put much utilization of the moving averages, or maybe he didn't share it with anybody. But when I started looking at moving averages and RSI, I found many things that will really change the way we have been trading. So we will use basically 9 EMA on the on the RSI and 45 SMA. So we will be using two sets of moving average. First will be 9 EMA exponential moving average and then 45 SMA on the RSI. So now, how to use it? Now, a cross of 9 EMA over the 45 EMA is a sign of momentum strength, and crossover that takes place after a prolonged trend comes with a greater significance. Now, let us look that on a chart. So, this is the Coal India daily chart, and you can see that there is a congestion here. We'll talk about congestion, how congestion works, and then there is a crossover. Now, there was this prolonged trend down, right? You can see that this was a huge and prolonged trend down, and we had a crossover here, somewhere here. So this crossover has a good implication, a better implication, and it indicates that there may be a momentum trade or momentum surge in the stock. So this has happened, and we saw that it rushed up so quickly, in the coming days. Now still it is up, and with this we got this doji in the last session, but I think that this doji, when you will get this doji, you will see that the RSI is at 68 levels, and also the 3MA is at 96 levels. So there may be a little bit correction, and we have to see how far the correction goes. And if there is no correction and the market is closing above this doji, then we can continue it to go to 260 levels. So keep watching this stock for a correction, and again, if there is a correction, we have to see how the correction behaves. If the correction comes down and makes a positive reversal here, then it will be a very good thing to buy. But keep looking at this thing, and also mind this gap area here. There is a gap here. Also mind this gap area. So what we are looking at, let's come back to our moving averages. A moving average crossover after the prolonged trend is an indication of a strength. Not maybe not permanent strength, but there may be an indication of a good pullback that you can utilize to trade, around 5 to 7% returns in a very short time. Now again, let's look at ACC. Now see, there was a prolonged trend down, and there was this crossover here, and the ACC stock ran up. See how fast and furious the moves are. It is running very fast. And one more thing you can see, and if you notice here, there was a crossover, plus there was a support on this crossover. The RSI took support on this crossover. Now this is another signature of RSI that tells us that the stock has found support here, and it may start moving up. So keep this also in mind. Whenever you see a crossover plus RSI bounce near the crossover, it's a very bullish signature. And again, what we can mix it what we can mix this with our analysis is we can use the 3-day SMA of the RSI. We can see at these levels, after getting a bounce here at these levels, we were very sure that the MA didn't go down below 20 levels, and it was enough sign for us that told us that the market may be moving up. So this is a very good signal and a very good utilization of the RSI EMA. Now another way to look is that a compression of moving averages at the 33 and 66.66 levels. Now when RSI, I am talking about RSI levels, and when the moving averages get compressed, that means this is the support, this is the 9 moving average and this is the 45 moving average, and they are getting compressed at the 33 levels of the RSI, and similarly they are getting compressed at the 66 levels of the RSI. So when this happens, now RSI support on MA compression between 33 and 40 levels will be a good support and a pullback point for that stock. That means the RSI is coming to the 33 levels, the moving averages, both moving averages that are coming through 33 levels. So between 33 and 40 levels, when we see this type of compression between RSI and moving averages, that means all the three lines are getting compressed, then this is the signal of a good support. Similarly, when we find RSI resisting between 60 and 66 levels and MAs are compressing there, right? So suppose this is the 66 levels, 60 and 66 levels basically. So this is the 60 and 66 levels. Just ignore the drawing please. And we have all the three lines compressing here, right? So this is a signal of a good resistance point, and it may tell us that there may be a pullback. Now this pullback will result into a trend change or not, that is not the case, but yes, there will be a pullback, there will be an opportunity to trade in the counter trend, and there will be opportunity to trade at least 5 to 7% of the move. So see these levels. This was Adani Ports, and you see here that all the three lines are getting compressed near the 60 and 66 levels, and this thing happened. Okay, now one more thing you can add to it. What I am telling you, keep adding the things. You can add the 3 SMA of the RSI 3 to it, right? Now if this 3 SMA of RSI 3 at this compression is unable to cross the 80 levels, then this compression may really result into a correction, because the trend is not strong enough to take the SMA 3 to the overbought levels. Now again, look at this point. This is Bharti Infratel Delhi, and we had this compression here. You can see the compression, and with it, this thing, the 3 SMA was not able to come to the 80 levels. Now this point served as a good resistance, and this move we got. So a quick 5 to 10% move we will get, and this move should be traded quickly, and we should get out of the trade also very quickly whenever we find any support, or whenever we see the RSI has started curling up, we should get immediately out of the move. So take 5 to 7% counter trend and get out. This is the best trading short term trading method that you can go. And short term trading method and short term trading is done counter trend only, not without the trend, not with the trend. Just keep this in mind, right? So again, this is M&M future. This is the current example, and you can see how there is a compression of the moving average crossover, and RSI also taking support of the moving average. On top of that, this is not getting oversold, right? So this may be a good indication of M&M moving up quickly to at least the 50 SMA zones. So we have to keep a watch on it in the coming days, and please keep this gap also in mind. So if it crosses this gap and move quickly to these levels, so this can be a good trade. So you can just try to get long in calls, or just try to get a bull call spread, whatever you want in options, especially because I am in basically I try to trade in options more, because I get my risks very ascertained that I'm not going to lose more than this. So futures trading are getting dangerous day by day because of the huge margin, first of all. Secondly, the uncertainty and volatility during this time is very very high. So it is very risky to trade futures right now, at least stock futures. You can go in for the commodity futures, but not the stock futures. I heavily discourage it as of now. Go for the options and try to learn it from the options. A full option series is going to be published on the YouTube very soon, so keep an hook on it also. So this is Britannia Daily. This is the current chart of Britannia Daily, and you can see now you can see two things here. First is the moving average compression here on the price, and as well as the compression of RSI. Right, the RSI is taking resistance at the 45-day moving average. Now this can be a sign of weakness. On top of that, this RSI MA3 is not going able to move to the 80 levels. So keep this also in your watch list and see what happens to it. Now when we will take a trade, this is a question everyone asks, when we will take a trade. Generally we take a trade when there is a crossover of the short term EMAs. So we have put, you can, if you can see, two lines are there, the red and the blue lines. The first line is the 5 EMA and the second line is the 10 EMA. So when these two EMA crosses each other, right, and on the close they are giving a crossover, then only we will go for a trade, not before that. So still the crossover is not completed. You can see here the crossover is not complete. We can wait for the crossover, then only we can enter the trade, not before it. It is not suggested to go before it because it is not a confirmation of the price action, but the candles are telling you that there is a bearish thing of formation. But again we will wait for this thing. We want a confirmed entry. Late entry is okay for me. I am very happy with the late entry, but the entry should be a confirmed entry. This is my question. And the next is Tech M Daily. Tech Mahindra Daily, also you can see that there is a resistance on the RSI, and again there is a type of this thing. The 9 SMA of RSI is creating a resistance, and now it is creating a another resistance here. So Tech Mahindra Daily is also at a verge of a very important verge, right? You have to keep this stock in trend. Now one more thing, you can, if you notice, there is a positive reversal here, right? So until and unless this positive reversal is broken down, and unless we get a close below this point, because we have a support nearby, and unless we get a close below this point, we are not going to enter it on the long side at least. So on the short side at least, sorry. So we will be keeping a watch on it. You also keep a track on it, right? And once you get a good close below this point, be ready to short it, and the target will be around these points. Now this is a strong support, and we can get a quick move at least to these levels. And also if you can look at this thing, it is not going to the overbought zones, and it has also not traveled to the oversold zone yet, but again it has not gone to the overbought zone. That indicates real little bit weakness has crept into the stock. So guys, this was all about moving averages on the RSI. Keep watching this video and try to apply it on the charts, because if you won't apply, you won't understand the application of the moving averages on the RSI. This is not a tough concept, it's a very easy concept, but you have to use it to take full advantage of the concept. I'll come up again maybe in the upcoming sessions with newer concept and a newer trade, and we will see how the trades have behaved. Now before that, before I wrap up, just I'll share one trade with you, that is the LNT trade that we were. So guys, this is the Larsen Turbo chart that we were tracking, and now we saw that the move have gone up, and now we are resisting at these levels. Now again, as I told you, the trade never triggered because there was no crossover of the moving average. So this is why I always put more pressure, and I always put more emphasis on the crossing of the moving averages. Before it, don't get into the trade, you will be trapped, that is for sure. Now it is taking resistance at this crossover. Let us see how it will behave. And one more thing, it is near the 60 levels. But if you see, what I wanted to make you see was this crossover plus this support. Now this is what I was talking about every time. This crossover plus support is a very lethal combination, and suppose this was at somewhere here around 1200 levels, 1250 levels, and now it has turned up to 80 to 90 points. So it will give you quiet and swift and fast moves in a very little time. And also 3 SMA is not getting oversold, and it is getting overbought. This is the sign of strength, right? Let us see how it will behave here. Will it move up, will it move down, or whatever it does. So this was it, guys, for today. And keep earning, keep learning, trade well. This is Bharat Newala signing off.